This will unlock the Rangers. If the Blue Shirts want to bounce back this season and return to the playoffs, they'll need their goaltender to return to an all-world level of play. Can Igor do it? I break down whether or not he can on another sizzling edition of Rangers Digest. Welcome back to Rangers Digest. We are built for Blue Shirt fandom, and I'm your host, Bret Botfeld. It is great to be back with you guys on this wonderful Wednesday, the 30th of July, and we got a lot to get into here today. But before we do that, a quick reminder that about 77% of you who currently watch these videos are still unsubscribed to the channel. So please hit that free subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers. Not only that, guys, so you could be part of something special here at Rangers Digest. Let's waste no more time and hop right into today's video. As you can see here from All Hockey Culture Media, the most expensive goaltending rooms this upcoming year. The New York Rangers are number one. Between Shesty and Quickie, the Rangers have the most expensive goaltending room in the entire National Hockey League. And as you can see right there, obviously all of us know this, but the Rangers missed the playoffs this past year. But they didn't just miss the playoffs. They went from a team the year prior, just 2 wins away from a Stanley Cup appearance, to 13th in the Eastern Conference this past year. So what does that tell you? That tells you that the Rangers had many more issues besides their goaltending play. Obviously a ton of underperformance, a lot of drama, many questionable coaching decisions, but nevertheless, I believe the Rangers can rely on both Shesterkin and Quick bouncing back this season, especially Igor, and we're going to get into why. As you can see here, the NHL's best goalies over the past few years, Igor Shesterkin is number 3 right here on this graphic, and this statistic measures NHL goalies with the highest cumulative goals saved above expected over the past 3 seasons. So what does that tell you guys? It tells you that difficult shots haven't been too much of a problem for Shesterkin. The problem, especially this past season, was there were far too many easy goals Igor was allowing to hit the back of the net. Too many pucks were going through the 5-hole, and that was what was so extremely frustrating about this past season from Igor, because some saves, I mean, he looked like unbelievable out there, like an octopus, like he had 8 arms and 8 sticks. I mean, he made some tremendous saves, but like I said, just too many easy goals that a player of his caliber should have no problem stopping, and that was the most frustrating part this past season from Igor. Here's another graphic here from Snapshot Media. They listed their top 16 goaltenders in the NHL entering the 2025 season, and as you can see here, Igor number 1, ahead of some very impressive goalies in their own right. Connor Hellebuck, who obviously is considered by many as the best goaltender in the world, but as we know, struggles in the postseason. He really struggles in the playoffs. Andrei Vasilevsky, I mean, an all-time goaltender. Ilya Sorokin, the other goalie in town here. Sergei Bobrovsky, back-to-back Stanley Cup champion. So Igor is on a list of some truly tremendous goalies in their own right, like I said. But a lot of people expect Igor to bounce back this season. And it's not just because of the player himself, but it's other factors as well. You know, the Rangers had to improve the defense because they were towards the bottom last season, and they've made some nice moves here, obviously headlined by Vladislav Gavrikov, who we're going to get into here in just a moment. But before we do that, I want to get into the stats of Igor Shesterkin. So as you can see here, since he made his debut with the Rangers, he has been very, very good, very reliable. 2021-2022, when he won the Vezina Trophy, His numbers were just off the charts, simply sensational. But as you can see here, these past few seasons, he's gotten worse. His goals against average has gone up, while his save percentage has gone down, which is why this graphic is truly tremendous, because this is measuring that goals saved above expected statistic over the past 3 seasons. But like I just showed you here, these past 3 seasons, his numbers have been getting worse. But let's take a look at the playoffs, guys. Igor is money in the playoffs. I just spoke about Connor Hellebuck, who is tremendous, but not good in the postseason. I mean, Igor is prolific in the postseason. And as you can see, the last time he was there, 2023-2024 season, when the Rangers won the President's Trophy, just 2 wins away from a Stanley Cup, he was very good in the playoffs. In that Florida series, in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Rangers lost in 6 games. But to be quite frank, the reason they even lasted 6 games, if you ask me, is because of the goaltending play from Igor. I mean, obviously he was 2-4 in that series because the Rangers lost in 6. But his goals against average was just 2.25. His save percentage was .930. So the Rangers didn't lose because of Igor. Also, Lafreniere, I mean, looked like a star against the Panthers. I wish he looked like that, on a more consistent basis. But man, Igor really keeps them alive in a lot of these playoff series. And like I said, he's just been money in the playoffs. But now I want to talk about why I believe, other than the player himself, because we all know how good Igor is, how good he really can be. But the Rangers have made some moves that is going to help him this season, no doubt about it. Let's take a look at their projected lineup from Puckpedia. Let's take a look at the defense, though. I want to highlight the defense. Look at that first pairing in Vladislav Gavrikov and Adam Fox. Guys, I really believe this can be a top 5 defensive duo in the NHL this year. Look, when Fox played with Ryan Lindgren, I believe they were a top 10 duo. But you insert Vladislav Gavrikov, who is a bigger and better version of Lindgren on the left side paired with Fox. I mean, they really have a chance to be top 5 this year. I really believe that. Obviously, we have to see it first. We haven't seen them play together. But if you take the 2 individuals and just grade them, I mean, they're both very, very good players, obviously. Fox, one of the best defensemen still in the entire NHL. Where things get a little messy is you start to look at that second and third pair, right? So Carson Soucy, obviously here on the channel, we don't like him as a player. A lot of fans out there, we know you don't like him as well. But what's really weird to me is pairing Carson Soucy, if you are going to keep him, and Will Borgen. I mean, there's just no offensive skill set there. The reason I love Will Borgen is because he has been one of the best defensemen in blocking shots, in hitting players the past few years, but he doesn't have much of an offensive game. When it comes to Carson Soucy, I mean, he's basically just a statue out there. I referred to Keandre Miller as a traffic cone, and that's another reason why Shesterkin struggled last year, because, I mean, his turnovers were just off the charts this past season, Keandre Miller. And it leads to a lot of odd man rushes, which puts Igor in a difficult position. And obviously the Rangers acquired Scott Morrow in that trade, who we're going to talk about here in a minute as well. But definitely limiting those turnovers is going to be key, because you don't want those odd man rushes to come as often as they did this past year. Like I said, it makes Shesterkin's life that much more difficult. But I mentioned Borgen and how he blocks shots. Gavrikov blocks shots at an insanely high clip as well. When they acquired him, I mentioned how he doesn't hit people the way he used to. His hit per game ratio has gone down every season. But man, the way he blocks shots is truly special, and that can't go unnoticed. That's going to help Igor as well. Adding these players like Scott Morrow, also who I just spoke about in that Keandre Miller deal, he was an over 1 block per game player this past season. I know he only played in 14 games, but he blocked 16 shots. So he's certainly willing to block pucks, when they come towards the net. Borgen block shots. Gavrikov block shots. Fox. Can't forget about Foxy. But man, Soucy on this second pair is concerning to me. I would love to see Schneider paired up with Borgen, because at least with Schneider, you get some offensive skill set, a guy who can handle the puck. Carson Soucy can't do that. So I understand Schneider is probably going to make the transition from the right side to the left side, but you need to put him on that second pair. You need some offensive skill set there. Now, when it comes to this third pair, I know you're probably wondering, okay, so move Carson Soucy down to the third pair. No, guys. I want to see Matthew Robertson paired with Scott Morrow. I want to see a kid line. Not a kid line like we saw with Lafreniere, Philip Hedl and Kakko, but a kid line 2.0 on the defensive end. Put Matthew Robertson and Scott Morrow together on that third pair. Robertson is also a guy that's going to block shots. He is a big, big presence on the ice. He's willing to do the dirty work. He was only here for a cup of coffee this past season, but we saw he's a willing player. He puts in the effort. He's got the want to. He's got good structure in the D zone. And I believe that Mike Sullivan and the way he deploys his defensive system, it's tailored for younger players. It's different than Laviolette. It's much different. Sullivan has more structure in his defensive game plan, and I believe it could benefit some young players like Robertson, like Morrow. But that's going to do it here today, guys. I truly believe that Igor will bounce back this season. He's just due to bounce back. He's gotten, he's still putting up good numbers, but he's gotten worse here the past few years. I believe he will bounce back. I believe he's going to face less shots than he faced this past season. I don't think he's going to allow the easy goals that he did this past year. I really don't. And when the Rangers are at their best, Igor is at his best. Their special teams is at their best. So if the Rangers really want to make some noise in the Eastern Conference this year, they're going to need Igor to bounce back. They're going to need Jonathan Quick to play the way he did, or somewhat near it, in 2023, 2024. Remember when Quick would play some nights, it wasn't even much of a drop-off. That's how good he was. But leave your comments down below. Do you think Igor will bounce back this year? Because I certainly do. Leave it down in the comment section below. And if you haven't hit that free subscribe button, hit that button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers. Take care, guys.